I would like to welcome to all of us to this program. It has been a time we have worked together in the past programs. I've received a lot of feedback, and some of the feedback, these are in terms of questions, comments. We'll try to respond to them today. I'm not saying I will respond to everything that has come to me. I will isolate a few things and comment on them. But having said so, I'd like us to go into the matter of the day. And the matter of the day is actually to look at the pastoral life of the church, which is the foundation of the church. Without the pastorate, so let me explain what is a pastoral command. It's where we find that Jesus sent his disciples. And I would like to ask to look at Matthew 29 from Matthew 28 from verse 16 to 20. I'll read the passage. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain, where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." Some would call this a Great Commission. Now, every diocese or archdiocese is based on this Great Commission. I think this is a foundation. Of course, our faith is founded on Christ, God made man, Jesus Christ, yes. But Jesus gave us a mandate. What do we do? What do we create? And this is the first mission of the church, to preach the good news. Without the preaching of the good news, without the pastoral life, without the spiritual life, there is no diocese. Whatever we do in terms of projects, in terms of investments, whatever we do, all these do not make sense if before that, prior to that, there is no spiritual life. So the pastoral life of the church is fundamental. Without this, there is no church. Where do we find the pastoral life of the church? Because, of course, in the archdiocese, we have a whole office, right from the office of the Archbishop, the Vicar General. Now we have also the auxiliary bishop. We have to find this, at least from bottom up. We have to go to the grassroots, the family. The family is where we find the spiritual life. I would like to challenge you, if our families are not evangelized, if our families are not spiritual, we cannot have a healthy church. And then from there, we have to look at the small Christian community. All the activities at the small Christian community must revolve around the pastoral, the spiritual. The rest is important, but it's additional. The same way like the parish. A parish is not just a structure of administration. You can have a beautifully organized parish and maybe with zero spirituality. This is a risk which I think in some parts of the world, some people have commented about this to say, why is it that maybe sometimes we find the churches do not have life, they might be empty. And one of the reasons, and this can happen to our diocese, is that if we miss the spiritual life, we might have beautiful structures, but they will remain empty. So this is an area I wanted us to explore, and it's based on this text of Matthew 28, 16 to 20. I wanted also to address, to look at the issues of our archdiocese regarding some of the recent developments in the church in Malawi. I'm talking specifically about the spiritual life and the devotion to the Eucharist. Last year, 2025, our Archdiocese was very much privileged to host the Eucharistic Congress. From the Eucharistic Congress, we have received a beautiful experience. And as an Archdiocese, we have resolved, that in every parish we should have weekly, even twice a week, devotions to the Blessed Sacrament. That is the Holy Hour, what we call the Holy Hour, or the same Holy Hour, we call it adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, Eucharist. This has come to stay now. I would like to ask all of us not to be shy about the Eucharist, worshiping Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. It's all in the Bible. You know, some people say it's not in the Bible, it's not in the Bible. Jesus has a lot of sayings, and I would like one day to invite one of our priests here to explain why we worship Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. But just briefly, let me look at the text, some of the text off my head. We find that Jesus himself says very clearly that the Father and I are one. The Father and I are one. Now, that statement in itself, if you look at it, is a confession that he is divine. We know that God is triune, the Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And he claims that the Father and I are one. Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. So then that's one thing. The other thing is, whoever eats my body and my blood will never die. I am the living bread that has come down from heaven. It's not just a piece of bread. It's not just like any kind of snack we take. That's actually his body. And he says clearly, because in the Gospel of John again, some were scandalized by this teaching, and they chose to run out, to go away. And Jesus turned to the disciples and said, do you also want to go away? So, and they said, no, we are staying. Brothers and sisters, there is no shame for us to worship Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. The moment the Catholics will stop worshiping Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament is the moment they will deny that is God. These things are together. In our creed we say, I believe in God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. God from God, true God from true God. Now, that's one thing, and I wanted to appeal, because I'm a little bit concerned that there are two sacraments that are actually on the decline in terms of the practice. The sacrament of penance in many of our parishes is actually on the decline. And then we have the adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. We have neglected it a lot over the past years. It's time to revive the practice of our sacraments. And let's proceed as we look at our Archdiocese and see how we look at the issue. Now, I would like to address a question which came my way. It's about, someone asked, why is it that, what criteria do you use for appointing or transferring priests? The word transfer is not the proper word for when it comes to priests. I know transferring, it means from one point to another, and that's understandable. But in this case, we talk of being appointed, and there's a question of obedience. Appointment, much more than appointment, being sent on a mission. So, what is it that we do? What is it that we follow in appointing priests to one place and another? And why is it that some parishes have less priests and others have more? One of the feedback says, well, after all, we can take care, we have the capacity for taking care of our priests. I don't doubt that. And actually my response will not dwell about whether we can take care or not. I know we can take care of the priests. Now, the first thing is that where in appointments for priests, we look at the needs of the diocese in a particular area of the diocese. So the areas, the parishes we have do not have the same needs, and the needs tend to change. You can have one particular need here, big need, We can deploy 3 priests there according to the need. 5 years down the line, the parish may not have that need, but the next parish or another parish, and we keep changing sometimes the numbers. I know of a parish where we had only 3 priests. In a period of 5 years, the number, we had to reduce it to 1. Actually, it's not good for a priest to be alone in a parish. I have to say this, but I'll explain. And then we had to deploy to a parish where there had been 1 priest, and we had to have 3 priests in that parish. The needs, or the pastoral needs, they keep changing. And that's what we need to understand. And if we have only 1 priest, I know all of us need more than 1 priest. It's not good for a priest to be alone. But I think we are trying to address a balance, to the balance of all these needs that keep changing in the parishes. The other thing is that our priests, we may have a lot of priests, but they are in different age groups, and every age group has its own need as well. Some of our priests are senior in terms of age. We can't load a lot of work on them because at that period they have served a lot the church, and maybe we need to give them a different type of work. So you may say, but we have 70, but maybe of those 70, not all of them can do everything. So then you have a group that is very young, maybe, and they are full of energy. Those, not all of them will be in parishes. Some of them, we need them for the administration of the diocese. So we do a lot of, we share in that group. If we don't share, you see that things will not move either. And then I wanted also to bring about this other thing. The world is changing. It's not good to leave a priest, no matter how good a priest is, in one parish for years and years and years. All of us need renewal and updating. We need a little bit of further renewal. So we have studies, and we do, not every priest goes for studies, but according to the needs of the diocese, we are also in Lilongwe diocese sending many of our priests for further studies within Malawi and outside Malawi, within Africa and outside Africa. Now, this is important because if we do not give more capacity to our priests, you yourselves will complain that they are not being efficient in the way they serve you. As I said, the world is changing. It needs every place of work. You need to be updated a bit. So we will not stop sending people for studies. Now, maybe we are, as the Archdiocese, we may be close to 20 priests now who are out on studies. After 5 years, they'll come back. So don't worry. They're not there to stay forever. When they come back, they strengthen the diocese. They strengthen the diocese. So the force of the diocese comes also from priests that are well prepared. About taking care of the priests, I don't doubt about you. Actually, I have to congratulate you. You are very great. You are good at supporting the priests. Keep it up. That's not the reason why we give you 1 priest or 2 priests. I would like to finally address the issue which has come my way. One of the questions about the cathedral. This question has been asked that Your Grace, before you came, your predecessor, our beloved late Archbishop Tarcisius Ziaye, had this very good and beautiful idea and plan for a new cathedral. Actually, I have the replica here of the project, which I will show you. I hope the camera will get it right. This is the cathedral. As you see, it's a beautiful plan, and if we realize this plan, it will be a real blessing for all of us. Now, as we proceed, I would like to say something about this project. When I came, I took it as a priority. and I'm now 5 years here in Lilongwe. I went in to find out exactly what it would cost. Unfortunately, the project, good things come at a price. Then it costed a lot, and even now it would cost us a lot. Now, in terms of figures, I would like just to share a little bit, but our architects now are looking at the figures again because the prices keep changing, the materials and all that. When I came, I was told that it would not cost less than 4 billion kwacha. Now, not less than, it didn't mean 4 billion. It would go to 6 or 7. And that was 5 years ago. And looking at our capacity as archdiocese, I said, well, we can do it in different ways, but we have to minimize the risk of getting bogged down on a project that doesn't finish. Maybe it will take too long, too costly. And even then, would even involve a lot of debts, maybe, for all of us. So 2 years later, I wrote a letter in which I thanked you, all of you, for the contribution that you made. The contribution, by the way, is there, is kept. And then I also announced the change of place of the cathedral. We are talking of Likuni as a possible new place where the cathedral would be. What I decided, and I would like to share with you, and I think we need a lot of prayers and we need a lot of commitment, is that first, there is a proverb in Chicha which says you have to prepare the ground first before something comes down. So we have engaged in massive drive for investments. And these investments, along the way, will surely have the capital that we need, at least a good part of the capital, to start the project. I can assure you this is possible along the way. But jumping into a project only with maybe our fundraising, we could end up in some kind of a challenge. And this project is still on. As I said, the architects are still working on the plans. I thank you for the contribution that you made. At the proper time, we will announce the commencement of the works. I cannot say when, because if I say when, then I think I will not be fair to you. I would prefer to announce something that is tangible, something that you see with your own eyes. It's our project, it's not my project. I am fully committed to it, but I would like to ask for your prayers because the process we have done of creating areas of revenue for the diocese is going on well. It's going on well. Maybe another thing I would like also to appeal to you, our brothers and sisters, is that as we continue being generous, this project we need to start, it will need a lot of heavy fundraisings around it. I hope we'll not get tired. I know you don't get tired easily, you don't get tired with such noble works. And thank you very much. I think that's what I can say. Thanks a lot for this question, which is very, very good question.